Yeah, so that's why I talk about it so much. And journaling is one of the ways to bring you more in touch with who you are, what you're about, why you react to things the way you do, what makes you feel about certain things. It also helps you to understand others. And a funny thing about journaling, first of all, I want to say this: there's no correct way to journal. Some people may do it in bullet points, others may write complete sentences, paragraphs, others may use diagrams, uh, other kinds of graphs, if you will, that speak to them and what they're thinking about, what they aspire to, or even if they're feeling depressed, if they're feeling very stressed. There are all kinds of ways that individuals depict that in their journal. And it's helped me enormously. I can tell you, there have been times that I was writing in my journal about one topic and something else sprang to mind. It reminded me of a certain incident, it reminded me of something in the past, and it was meaningful in that moment. And it just brought more to the forefront of just how important journaling is. So, I mean, it's so important, and I'm all about soft skills, and I'm all about building those soft skills. I made a journal. I am proud to say I am the new author of my 30-day self awareness journal. And it is simply beautiful. And I'm not just saying that because of me, but it actually turned out really beautiful. I love the way it turned out. And of course, my logo is Empower You. And writing in this journal, that's exactly what you'll see begin to happen. You'll be empowered. Okay. One of the things I did, okay, so I put the date up there so that you can date when you are recording certain items in your journal. I left pages blank, that is at the top, but I also provided prompts as well. Okay, let me just read you the absolute first page, which I love. Okay, the first page says, if you ever feel like God isn't there, remember the teacher is always silent during the test. You know, sometimes we encounter our trials and tribulations and we doubt God's presence. I don't, I don't, that's something I can't conceive of, but certainly some people in a moment of despair may question or doubt God's presence or his hand and his power in our lives. And just think that he's always present even when we can't see him. He's always there. Okay, well, for those of us who believe that God lives and is the power force in our life, he is always there. uh Hi, Judith, thank you. Happy Thursday to you too. Check your email, Judith. It might be some good news in there. So yes, let me just also share with you where I have provided some prompts to provoke thought, to perhaps give you bring up a past story in your life, or even aspiration as to where you want to go or what you want to do. Okay. Do I practice ways to maintain a positive attitude? So you read that, and then you just go ahead and journal whatever comes to your mind or whatever your reaction may be to that. And here's something else. Today I will be grateful for, and there is so much to be grateful for. Uh, you know what? Let me tell you about being grateful, okay? I was going to do a journal. I knew I was going to do a journal. I think and I thought at that moment it is so important. I'm going to do a journal. And I said, folks, this is what I said. I'm going to do a journal for Black Friday. That's what I'm going to do. I ran into a dear friend, partner in crime, colleague. She falls under a lot of categories. And I was telling her about it in the grocery store, no less. And I said, yeah, I'm going to do a journal. I'm going to do a journal for Black Friday. She said, Black Friday? Why don't you do it now? And it hit me. Yeah, what was I waiting for? And Shantae, hats off to you. I don't know if you're listening, but I'm letting everybody know you were the inspiration for me to get up off my duff, get it done, put it out there. Voila. Folks, it's so exciting. And you know what? You don't know where your inspiration or motivation will come from. How many times, certainly from my coaches and others, how many times have you heard, do it now. Stop putting it off. Get it done. Come on. What are you waiting for? And when she said that to me, it's like I had heard it a million times. And this was one time. I'm not going to wait. So here it is. And I invite all of you, one, journal with me. Give me some of your tips. I'm going to share a few with you tonight, but let me know your experience with journaling. Let me know what you think about journaling. I love to hear it. And also, you're all invited to the book launch on October 26th at 12 noon. It's virtual. So when you register, you'll receive the link to the virtual the virtual book launch. Hi Tammy, how you doing? Actually, I published it via Amazon, KDP. Folks, it was the easiest efficient public, well, it's my first time publishing, but I know others who have published through KDP. It's most economical. You say exactly what you want, you put in your measurements. I mean, they really have a template that's easy to follow, and voila, I have my journal. Tammy, thanks so much for joining. Yes, Judith, I am looking for everyone to journal with me. I really am. I think that's a good idea. I think we can share the experience that we're having personally with our journal. I'd love to hear how you experience change, how you experienced habits. I think that's really, really wonderful to hear. Oh, hi, Judith is coming in. Is she? Let me bring Judith in. How are you,
Hi.
my dear? I can see you. Okay, thank you for joining, everyone. This is Judith McDaniel. She's my AP, or accountability partner. For those of you who aren't familiar with that AP short term, but thank you so much for joining me here this evening.
I'm so
Oh, that's wonderful, Tammy. That is great. You should go to KDP. Judith, what is it? KDP
yeah.
Amazon?
Yes, it stands for Kindle Direct Publishing.
The website. What is it? Do you recall?
Oh, they can just go on Amazon,
Okay.
and then from there, if you're interested in writing a book, then it'll take you to KDP. But if you type in KDP Publishing, KDP Publishing, that will allow you to go right into all of the information that you need for anyone who's interested in writing a book. But I wanted to hop on here to say congratulations, author Karren.
Thank you, Judith. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's wonderful to be at this point. Of course, now the real work begins of marketing, of letting people know, of inviting you all. Pre sales are going on now, folks. So please, on my
Hmm.
website or Amazon, you can go and order your copy, and you can have your copy by the time. The book launch comes up on October 26th. We are going to have some surprise guests. We're going to have some giveaways. And most importantly, we're going to have some tips. And we also invite you to share your journaling tips and or your journaling experience, or if it's the first time. You know, today I had a thought about journaling, because a lot of times you hear people, oh, I don't know how to journal. And actually, there's
Right.
no know how to
Hmm.
journal, really. You just start writing from what you feel or writing from what you aspire to. Um, but it made me think of meditation, because people who are just beginning to meditate, for instance, you'll hear them say, I don't know how to do that. Every time I start to meditate, my mind starts to wandering, and I smile at that because I was one who said that. But in actuality, it takes time, and in the beginning, when
Hmm.
your mind starts to wander, it's okay. You just bring it back. You
Hmm.
just bring it back and you return to that stillness, but it takes practice. And the same identical thing with journaling.
Hmm. So one thing also that I can share about journaling is the fact that you are stress free from being grammar free. So you don't have to think about, any punctuations and, oh, is this grammatically correct, because it belongs to you. And it's very therapeutic to have a place where you can actually write down your thoughts, write down your emotions, write down your celebrations as well as your challenges. So I'm just excited that you decided to go with doing a journal first, as like, authoring your first book. And this was definitely something that I know that you had been wanting to do, because you actually joined us when we had our Make Literacy Dope authors, opportunity to whoever wants to become an author. And so that's, exciting to actually see it now come to fruition. So again, congratulations. And
Thank you
I
so
definitely
much.
look forward to journaling with you as well.
I thank you, Judith. And I just like to say, really, on that author in terms of a publication, not necessarily a journal. I think maybe journaling may birth a book in a lot of cases, not just mine. I think if we read about some authors, they'll tell you how journaling, out of journaling, that is, they wrote X book, or while journaling, they realized all of this material they had in the journal translated to a book.
Mhm.
And that's another process, idea, possibility that I look forward to. It is really, it's really interesting. I would like to see journaling with a group. Everybody's invited, y'all. Come on. But I would like to really do that, because it's all about changing habits. Hello, there's my upline on the line. Hi, Kim French. How are you? I thank you so much for joining us this evening. Let me see. Tammy says, uh, coaches are great, but having a circle of friends who want to see you win is just as important. You are so right.
Mhm.
Tammy Jones is, uh, did I lose us?
No, I'm
Okay.
here.
Okay, so my screen went away.
Mhm.
She's a friend and colleague from a things we really really feel within our group, and that is the support of each other. And let me tell you, that's a tremendous boost. that is a tremendous boost to have people really rooting for you and wanting to see you win. It's contagious. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what we share with each other. So I thank you all. Tammy, thank you so much for that. Kim, I'm so glad to see you because you too are an inspiration. And I appreciate you. Not only have you taught so much in your own coaching of a group, but you're also showing us every day in your own achievements and activities. And I certainly appreciate that. But yes, folks, my journal is on sale. It's $24.95. It's easy to obtain. It's beautiful. And I'm not just saying it because it's me, but it is. And I really look forward to you all coming to the book launch. So let's go for some examples, okay? And I think I already stated this, and that's how journaling is one of the best ways to increase your self awareness. Okay, and this has been supported naturally by studies, personal
Mm-hmm.
examples, research. Um, it also starts a habit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you can for 15 or 20 minutes a day begin to journal your thoughts, begin to, it doesn't have to be a page long, it could be any length. It's about the habit, and it could deal with stress at work, it can even deal with some emotional issues if that's what you're having. If you're someone who gets angry fast, or if you're someone who is easily upset when there's a change, journaling helps you through that process. I think Judy said it in the beginning how it can be therapeutic. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Taking that
And
time.
also, I was just going to also say, it's something that you can also do with your children. It doesn't have to just be for the adult. It can be for a child and their parent, or a child and their guardian or caretaker. You can do it as a pair. So it doesn't, again, I just think that is great that you're citing all of these examples.
Okay, so speaking of emotions or journaling about them, you can keep track of your emotions, happiness. How about this? Energy level. You might observe during the course of the day that you really get tired at noon. And that's something you might want to zero in on. Can you identify perhaps why? Or is there something you can do to pick yourself up at that time to like energize yourself, for instance? These are all, good things. It's something as simple as how happy am I? Or was I very productive today? Those are all things you can ask yourself and you can answer and become more enlightened or self aware.
Mhm.
So it's an example was given, and I thought this was good, of someone who their method of journaling, it looked like an algebraic formula, if you will. But that was that person's way of indicating how they were feeling. They measured it. They wanted to quantify how they were feeling this time versus another time. I thought that was good. And now people are even doing a digital journal, but I happen to get more out of the pencil and or pen, if you will, and paper. That writing it, sometimes it almost feels like it goes from your hand, your writing, all the way up your arm to your brain. There's just a connection, and for me, a lasting longer, a greater impact when I write it, that is, as opposed to doing it digitally. Okay, how about this? If you were more self aware, let's just take an example, okay? And we were talking about being positive. Have you been in the car with some people that get to a red light and oh my goodness, it's like they're about to tear out the car. Oh, he could have made that light. Why did he stop there? And the other person is back there banging on the wheel. And then you have that other person who's just sitting there patiently waiting for the light to change. You see, there are choices we make in this world, and we can choose to react one way versus the other. That is not to say things don't irritate us or things don't get us a little out of joint, if you will. It is not to say, but you can choose. You can actually choose to be more positive in a situation where it may have been extremely irritating to you. So, how do you think you'll use your self awareness journal? Does anyone want to share? If you're already doing a journal, is it a particular journal? Is it a journal for work? Is it a personal journal? Is it a journal of gratitude? What kind of journal? Judith, do you keep a journal?
Yes, I keep a journal. I have one where I journal what I'm thankful for. So I just every day before the day ends, write down a journal on like my thankful whatever I'm thankful for. Because we take life for granted and we don't really say take the time to say thank you to God. As you mentioned earlier, you talked about, God and just helping him, acknowledging
Mm-hmm.
his presence. And so just for the little things. And sometimes I say, thank you for the things that I have not received. Because guess what? At the end of the day, obviously, there's a reason why I haven't received it. And so I'm thankful for that because it allows me to um really look at thankfulness from a different set of lens. Oftentimes, we always think that it's about you receiving something all the time, but the gift of not receiving it humbles you.
Mm, mm. And also, when you're writing about it, you're concentrating on it, you're giving it your attention.
Mhm.
And also, one of the big things I'd like to mention about journaling, it helps you with clarity. Journaling really helps you with clarity. And when you're clear, that is another element of self awareness. It helps you
Mhm.
become more self aware. So, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and another way that I've used my journal is to speak to the future. So I actually really like wrote down what I wanted to see over the next 3 to 5 years, for example. And then I was just very detailed with my ask. And sure enough, it all came to fruition. And so, but that's all related to journaling and writing down the things that I saw futuristically, and some of it panned out to the T, while others panned out in a different way, but I still got it. I just never ever saw myself. I even wrote. A lot of people don't know this, but and I'm proud to say it actually, but at 53, I never really saw myself um like leaving my job that I had for 7 years and really starting a new journey, because I really wanted to finish my last leg of working with dealing with children, youth and families. And so I really, I'm happy to say that I took that leap of faith, but that was all like writing it out and saying, this is what I really desire, and writing it in the journal, and then to actually see it all come true. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It all came true. But you could use your journal for whatever you wish, however you wish. I mean, I just cited examples of how I used mine.
Yes, and that's a very good example. I think that, when and that's vision, folks, your dreams, your vision, your goals. The journal is very beneficial to put them down clearly first, to write them down to help you get clear on them, because when you
Mhm.
first write them you might not be so clear, but as you're writing and as you're thinking, then you begin to get more clear in your thoughts, and that's depicted in your journal. So
Another thing that I wanted to add is there is no right or wrong when you journal. That's another thing I think that people need to understand and be very clear. Like they think that, oh, this has to be done in a strategic way, or, you really have to have it written out in a certain way, which is why I was sharing with you. Like, don't worry about like grammar, don't worry about punctuation. You can just write down your feelings and your thoughts. Because I work with children, I have in the past worked with children who were homeless, or children who are in foster care, and just imagine the lives that they have, where they have to internalize a number of different things that's going on in their life, and journaling actually helped to save their lives. So it's just, you just can look at it in a number of different ways, but it definitely is. That's why I say it's therapeutic.
yes, and the other thing is, of course, it benefits everyone regardless of how you start, regardless of how you keep the journal. It's a habit that you can begin today, and you can watch day over day. And in fact, if you begin today and you only spend 20 minutes today, that time you spend journaling over time, you may find increases. So, once again, folks, thank you so much for being here. I really am interested. You can contact me via my website, my email, my IG, my Facebook, but I really am interested in your tips for journaling. I'm interested, for instance, to hear from that person who just started, who was inspired by this live tonight, and tell us how that's working for you and what you experience. For those who are diehard journalists, share with us some of your wins and what you have really benefited from being a diehard. I'm going to journal regardless. I'd love to hear it. And if you just so happen to add to your journals this journal, I think you'll be happy, and I think that will be great. And if you could get your journal now and bring it to the book launch with you, that will be fantastic, because then we can all put a journal entry in about our first journal entry in the 30-day awareness journal. How's that? Sounds like a good idea. So let me see. Are there any other comments, questions? Um,
You're welcome, Tammy Jones. She says, thank you for those tips. You're
oh yeah.
very welcome.
Okay, that's I thank you. I thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate that, Tammy. And I imagine I will see you on Monday or Wednesday. Not sure right now, but I thank you so much for popping in tonight. And look, good luck on your book. I look forward to reading it and supporting you as well. Kim, good to see you. Judith, I'm so glad you were available to pop in tonight to share with the audience tips and other observations, experiences you've had with journaling. I think that's great. And folks, Karen's Carrots, I think, brought you a very important message tonight. Start that habit now. Tell us about it at the book launch on October 26th at 12 noon. I look forward to seeing you there, and we're going to have some surprises that I think you will enjoy and have fun with. Okay, any last words, Judith, before we say so long for tonight?
Don't think about it. Just go ahead and do it, and go on Amazon.com and get your journal, so that together we can all journal together. We all have a story, and that's built inside of us. And more importantly, I think it's great that we all have experienced what we've experienced together. So now let's write together.
Okay, sounds like a plan to me. And why don't we do our commercial just before we leave? How's that?
Okay. Sure.
Get your guide to boost your emotional intelligence today. Once again, I thank you so much for joining Karen's Carrots tonight. I thank you for being here to support me on the announcement of my 30-day awareness journal. I look forward to seeing you pick up your journal as soon as possible. Pre-orders are going on now. And remember, easinthec-suite.com/launch will take you to the registration for the book launch. And easinthec-suite.com will take you slash shop will take you to the portal to purchase your journal, as well as visiting Amazon. So once again, thank you. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the other side. Good night. Thank
Bye.
you, Judith.
Yes, good night. It was a pleasure.